How many more fights would you say? I know you said maybe one, but come on.
I don't know, 1, 2.
Oh.
I mean, I'm not one of those guys. I told you, I'm not one of those guys who's going to be fighting until I'm 45 and I'm punchy.
Do not think Spence will be in the Hall of Fame?
Right now? No, how? He fought in one division. He had the WBC,
he didn't fight all
WBA.
four. He wasn't undisputed. He wasn't undisputed.
He wasn't. No, what I'm saying is they already called him a weight bully. He beat Kell Brook coming off a loss, an eye injury. He beat Sean Porter.
In all fairness, he had to go over there to get that.
You know what I mean? That's a good win. I'm still a fan. I hope he do well. But like, once it got to the point where I moved up in weight and I'm in the same weight as Spence, it's just like, oh man, you ain't fighting nobody. You this, you that, you this, you that. So now
Terence Crawford mocked Errol Spence Jr. after Spence suddenly asked for a rematch. Crawford thinks Spence is just looking for fast money and says the result would be the same or even more one-sided than before. Their rivalry, which seemed finished after Spence's knockout 2 years ago, has now started up again.
Just to boost him up. I'm like, dude, you're not gonna do that. Because I can retire right now and be in the Hall of Fame. He couldn't. Everything that I've accomplished, he's still trying to accomplish. I don't wanna sound like I'm hating on him. I honestly don't know if he make it to the Hall of Fame with the accolades that he didn't.
Errol Spence Jr. is preparing to step back into the ring soon, and out of all his possible opponents, he's decided to face Terence Crawford once again. This choice wasn't random or made entirely by him. Spence felt pushed into it after hearing Crawford on a podcast say he didn't deserve a spot in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. That comment didn't sit well with Spence or many in the boxing world. They saw it as an insult to a fighter who survived a serious car accident, beat top contenders, and unified 3 welterweight titles by defeating the division's best champions.
Possibility where you would rematch Errol Spence, or is he in a position where he needs to win again before that makes sense for you?
The possibility is there.
I'm walking over my feet. You know, I want to get out the game. I got kids, got a mom and dad, and you know, they want to enjoy me. So,
to Spence, one loss shouldn't stop him from earning a place in the Hall of Fame. His defeat to Crawford doesn't erase 28 wins and 22 knockouts. Instead of arguing, Spence wants to prove himself in the ring by beating the first boxer to become undisputed in 2 weight divisions during the 4-belt era. He believes a win over Crawford would end all Hall of Fame debates. After Spence called for a rematch, Crawford responded by saying any fight with Spence would be easy money.
Sadly, this definitely got to come to the end, so I'm definitely going to get out while I still can and not either be forced out or I have to keep fighting because I need money.
Add one more belt.
A debate is brewing in the boxing world over whether Errol Spence Jr. deserves a place in the Hall of Fame. The discussion picked up after 2-division undisputed champion and Spence's former rival, Terence Crawford, spoke about it on the Pound for Pound podcast with Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo. Crawford said he could retire today and still make the Hall of Fame based on his accomplishments, but he wasn't sure the same could be said for Spence, explaining that Spence is still chasing his legacy. When asked to elaborate, Crawford started listing Spence's record and career highlights.
I don't know, was that to stop him at the end?
Everybody's wondering what's going on with you and Terence Crawford. This fight gonna happen?
I think it's gonna happen. We both want to fight. I want to fight. He wants to fight, and you know, it's going down to negotiations. So I think I definitely gonna get the fight this year, and we're gonna square off this year with the biggest fight in boxing.
It is the biggest fight in boxing. Where and when, if you were guessing?
I don't know where. I don't know when, but
Crawford claimed that Spence only competed in one weight class, never unified all the belts, and never became undisputed. He also mentioned that Spence was called a weight bully after defeating Kell Brook, who was coming off a loss and dealing with an eye injury. Since the podcast aired, Crawford has faced heavy criticism from both fans and boxing analysts. Former WBO super featherweight champion Jamel Herring joined the discussion, saying he respects Crawford but disagrees with him. Herring pointed out that Spence was a unified champion in one of the toughest divisions in boxing and went on to outline his major achievements.
For his title, I'm fighting for a title, and there's the possibility. He win this fight, God willing. I win my fight, God willing. And there's a possibility, right?
Jamel Herring pointed out that Spence defeated every world champion in his division to unify all the titles without any vacant belts, directly challenging Crawford's claims. He noted that Kell Brook, Sean Porter, and Yadenis Yugas were all active champions when Spence beat them. Herring also mentioned Spence's victories over Mikey Garcia and Danny Garcia, the latter coming after his near-fatal car accident. Spence consistently sold out arenas and pay-per-view events, helping lead the welterweight division. According to Herring, Spence's accomplishments match or even surpass those of many fighters already in the Hall of Fame. He added that one loss to one of the sport's best doesn't erase Spence's legacy, declaring him worthy of Hall of Fame recognition. Former opponent Yadenis Ugas also shared his thoughts. Spence defeated him by 10th round TKO in April 2024, leaving Ugas with an eye injury. Ugas tweeted that even if Spence retired today, he deserves a Hall of Fame spot. He praised Spence for his comeback from both a serious car crash and eye surgery, calling his journey inspiring. Ugas said he felt honored to have faced Spence, adding that boxers are rivals, not enemies. After Crawford won the WBO welterweight title in June 2018 with a TKO over Jeff Horn, fans have been calling for a fight with Spence. The biggest obstacle was promotional differences. Crawford was signed with Top Rank, while Spence fought under PBC, and the two rarely worked together. When Crawford became a free agent following his 10th round TKO win over Sean Porter in November 2021, negotiations for the long-awaited bout finally began. Talks went on for most of the year and were close to completion by September, but the deal collapsed at the last moment. Area last competed in April 2022, stopping Yadenis Ugas in the 10th round in Arlington, Texas, to win his third welterweight title. That fight marked Spence's first return since eye surgery in August 2021 to repair a detached retina, which had forced him to withdraw from a scheduled bout with the legendary Manny Pacquiao. Spence came back stronger, just as he had after his serious car crash in October 2019 that nearly ended his career. 14 months later, he defeated Danny Garcia by decision. While many fighters retire after a detached retina, Spence returned successfully, showing a resilience reminiscent of Sugar Ray Leonard in the 1980s.
A lot of skill sets I feel like advantaged over him. But at the end of the day, I feel like this fight is basically so even. You know, it's going to be more about just being more focused and, you know, not getting out of focus, especially in the later rounds, just making sure, staying on point all throughout the fight and making sure you don't.
The Hall of Fame discussion about Spence started after Terence Crawford defeated him to become the undisputed welterweight champion on July 29, 2023, at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, in front of a sold-out crowd of 19,990. Crawford controlled the fight, winning by 9th round TKO. He became the first undisputed welterweight champion since 2006 and the first male boxer in the four-belt era to go undisputed in two weight divisions. The knockout was Crawford's 11th straight finish, with 9 of them coming in the 6th round or later.
Just like I thought, it just my timing wasn't good today.
Questions for Errol Spence Jr.?
Hey, Errol, Keith Heidick from BoxingScene.com. What do you attribute your timing not being there to? Did you feel off physically or anything, or what was wrong in the fight?
This was arguably Crawford's most outstanding performance, as he controlled the fight from start to finish. He dropped Spence in the 2nd round, a situation Spence had never faced before in his career. By the end, Spence had been knocked down 3 times, similar to what Devin Haney experienced in his first career loss. Crawford ended the fight landing 60% of his power punches and 42% of his jabs, totaling 87 jabs, the most ever landed on Spence by any opponent.
Physically or anything, or what was wrong in the fight?
Yeah, felt a little out physically, but most times I get through it. So, you know, I thought it was gonna be just like the other times, but you know, I couldn't kick it up.
The fight started with Spence controlling the pace, applying early pressure while Crawford remained cautious, looking for counterpunching chances, like he did near the end of the 1st round. There were no big exchanges at first, but Spence overextended once, letting Crawford land a precise left hand, hinting at the tactical battle ahead. Usually a slow starter, Crawford allowed Spence to lead in the early rounds, using his movement, steady jab, and constant pressure to dominate much of the second round.
I don't go in there looking for the knockout. I go looking for the win. But if he get out of line, he's going to be the next one down.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Errol?
You gonna need more than the belt. I don't know what you talking about. I ain't one of your kids.
I'm
You
going
gonna
to
need
treat
more
you.
than the belt. I ain't one of your kids.
Treat you like one.
Yeah, all right, we gonna see.
All right, we definitely going to see.
And there they are, ladies and gentlemen. It's the main event of the evening. Brought to you by Premier Boxing Champions. 12 rounds of boxing for the undisputed welterweight championship of the world.
Series of punishing jabs that hurt Spence. The 35-year-old carried that momentum into the fifth, pushing Spence back with sharp, fast, textbook counterpunching. It became only a matter of time before Crawford dropped Spence 2 more times, eventually finishing the fight with a 9th-round TKO.
Probably like first, second round. He's a strong dude, but everybody at this top level have some type of power. But I think because my time was out, he was catching me in between shots.
I get to say I told y'all because I've been asking for these fights for years. And y'all been saying, oh, he's too small. He's going to get this. He's going to get broken.
I only dreamed of becoming a world champion. I'm an overachiever. Nobody believed in me when I was coming up, but I made everyone a believer, Crawford said after the fight. I want to thank Spence and his team. Without him, none of this would be possible. This means everything because of who I took the belts from. They tried to block me, kept me out, talked me down, said I wasn't good enough to beat the top welterweights. I just kept my head up and prayed to God for the chance to show the world how great I am. Tonight, I believe I did.
Junior, for providing us an unbelievable night of boxing here in Las Vegas. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now I want to bring up. He is the.
Crawford displayed the full power of his jab, with Mike Tyson calling it a battering ram that kept constant pressure on Spence throughout the fight. He's an incredible talent and his jab is outstanding, Crawford said. Since winning the WBO welterweight title in his first fight at 147 pounds with a TKO over Jeff Horn in June 2018, fans have been calling for a fight with Spence. A major hurdle was the rival promoters, Crawford with Top Rank and Spence with PBC, who rarely work together, delaying the highly anticipated matchup. When you're one of the best pound-for-pound fighters, you expect people to get the details of your career right, especially when you're facing other top athletes, Crawford added.
Undisputed champion in 2 divisions for the first time in the 4-belt era. There is an undisputed welterweight champion of the world. This man, 40 wins, no losses. He remains undefeated here tonight. The best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, ladies and gentlemen, from Omaha, Nebraska.
Even UFC legend Kamaru Usman got a reality check when he tried recalling a key moment from Crawford's career, only for Crawford to hilariously correct him. The slip-up happened on the Pound for Pound podcast with Usman and Henry Cejudo, leaving everyone, including Crawford, laughing. While talking about Crawford's future, Usman confidently said, "I saw you got the belt off the Jamaican dude. Am I right?" Trying to remember when Crawford became champion. Amused, Crawford let him continue. "I think that you were knocked down. Which fight was that?" Usman added, "You fought Jeff Horn in Australia?" Crawford replied with a smirk, instantly shutting it down.
He like, man, I'm not giving up. I don't care what you do. I'm going to keep getting up and I'm going to keep fighting. So, yeah, he did what he had to do to last the time that he lasted.
You think the ref should have stopped it?
Crawford, laughing at Usman's mix-up, said his record is spotless and that he's never fought in Australia. Undeterred, Usman tried again, asking, "Who did you fight in Australia?" Crawford repeated firmly, "Jeff Horn was in the MGM." Henry Cejudo, no stranger to banter, laughed as Usman realized his mistake. Usman's claim that Crawford had been knocked down wasn't just wrong, it's a misconception Crawford has had to correct before. It likely comes from his 2019 fight against Idris Cavalli, when a strong counter caused Crawford to momentarily lose balance. Some fans argued it should have been counted as a knockdown, but the referee ruled it a slip, keeping Crawford's record flawless.
Time, because even when he stopped it, Errol was, put his hands up like, I'm still going. Do you think that was the time to stop the fight?
Oh yeah, for sure. But I think that his corner should have stepped in the 7th round. I feel as if, they believed in Errol, but at the same time, they should have saved the fighter from himself. Because as fighters, we're going to keep fighting until there's no fight left. But at the point where, they see that there's no possible way.
While some interviews get tense when fighters are questioned about their records, this one was full of laughs. Usman took his mistake in stride, Crawford corrected him with ease, and Cejudo enjoyed the rare moment of seeing someone else roasted. That said, many still disagree with Crawford's comments. Meanwhile, Errol Spence Jr. has remained silent, and Crawford hasn't responded to the backlash. Does Spence deserve a Hall of Fame spot, or is it too soon to decide? For the latest updates on news, highlights, events, and action in boxing, stay connected by subscribing to our YouTube channel and turning on notifications for content like this. Until next time.